All right, Kip Winger is here. And Kip is one of those guests that I've been trying to get on the show for years. And he finally did it because he is promoting the new Winger album, Seven, which comes out on May 7th, May 5th. Okay, May 5th. The album's called Seven. Two tracks are available now, and we're going to discuss a few more, plus what songs are going to play live, as well as some tidbits from the past, like the story behind the song Down Incognito, why he decided to make the jump from bassist for Alice Cooper to frontman, and so much more coming right up. Welcome, Kip Winger. How's it going?
Good. How are you, man?
Good, good. So yeah, new album, Seven. I'm loving the songs. The first single though, Proud Desperado. Is it just me, or is that song kind of hard, like for an average person to sing? Because I it's such a catchy song and I want to sing along, but I don't think I'm hitting the keys right.
I guess it could be. Yeah, I guess that could be a pretty difficult song for somebody who's trying to sing out of the blue. You want me to give you a voice lesson?
Yes, could you? Yeah, because yeah, it's like Proud Desperado. It's like a lot of things going on there. Am I wrong?
The intervals in that section are very. Yeah, they are. Let me see.
It's more complex than just the typical song.
Thank you for noticing that. Yeah, it's. I don't remember the melody right now, but it's quite a stretch on those first intervals in the pre-chorus. Yeah.
Yeah, I notice that stuff when I start to try to sing along to a song. I go, oh, this is not just because in your head it's so catchy, but it's harder to sing along to. So
it's funny that you say that, because when I was recording it, I was trying to be sure that all the consistency of this tone of my voice was right on all of those syllables, and to place my throat in the right way to get that proud desperado, and I had to, instead of proud desperado, it was that was a challenge.
Yeah, and then when you play it live, you got to be playing the bass too. Does that even like a thing for you anymore, or is that like super easy to play bass and sing?
No, are you crazy, man? I have to practice for hours to do that, and I'm panicking. I woke up last night going, "Oh my God, I have to learn that song." For the video, it's one thing. It's like, when you don't really have to do it. But yeah, no, I do. I have to learn it. That and whichever other ones we're doing. There's a couple on the album, and there's a couple songs in our catalog that I could never do it. It's just totally impossible. Like In My Veins on Pull. If you listen to the very last part where the music is going all the way up the neck and I'm singing this ridiculously high thing, I mean, it's just like, no way I could ever do it live.
Wow, yeah. And what about, because the newest single, It All Comes Back Around, that's a longer song. And that seems like very complex. Like it seems like musically there's a lot of things going on. Is that something that you would do live as well?
Yeah. It's actually, it's not, it is. Thank you for noticing that. I appreciate that. It's not, it's complex, but it's not complicated. It's like the keyboard part, it's not like this Jordan Rudess kind of thing where it's not like that. It's just very composed, and the chord progressions are unusual. But yeah, I'm sure we'll take a stab at that one.
Yeah. So that's what you mentioned, that with this album, there's the complexities, or you use some of the tricks that you learned from classical training and orchestral arranging, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm always chasing something that's in my head that's a little bit more unusual. I hear a lot of, I've been doing orchestral music for a long time now, and it feeds the rock music because it always gives me some kind of a pathway to do something different that you wouldn't normally hear in rock. And I always try to, put that stuff in the music and make it more interesting.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Jordan, and I had him on my show, and it's the same thing. I feel like with Dream Theater and Winger. To me, like you guys don't put out bad music. Like every song is good. Like you listen to any Winger song, any Dream Theater, they're all like, you could tell they're really brilliant. Like you guys put in hard work. You guys know what you're doing. And people, and it's funny because some of the Dream Theater people will be like, oh, this song isn't as good. And I just don't understand that because I love this new album. Is that the kind of a response you're getting from most of the fans too?
Yeah, it is. I appreciate that. There's always some trolls on there going, you guys suck, or whatever. We've got some remnants from the naysayers back in the mid '90s that were, you know, they still like to come and comment and stupid comments, but for the most part, it's all great. I mean, the comments I've seen we just released It All Comes Back Around today, and the comments that I've seen are great. So people seem to be getting it.
Yeah. Do you think some of those comments, I feel like it seems like it comes out of envy?
I don't know, man. I mean, I would never want to be psychologically diagnosing anybody, but, I don't understand why you would go on someone's site just to say something bad, but there's 9 or 10 billion people out there. Who knows what they're all thinking?
Right. Yeah. No, true. Yeah. But I mean, you're like the fellow musicians. I would think that would mean more to you than, because it's always the people that troll or the people that don't have it. You never heard of them. They don't have any followers. They're not musically talented.
No, those guys. Yeah, a lot of them aren't actually musicians. The musicians always seem to know the difference, but so do a lot of the fans. I mean, it's just. I think that you get that with any genre. You're just going to get. I'm going to turn around here. You're just going to get people that want to. They lift you up and knock you down.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. What is one of my favorite songs on the new record is first I just right when I looked at the track listing I was like, oh, this song sticks out to me. Stick the knife in and twist. It had such a cool title. Then I listened to the riff was cool, and then the catchy sing along chorus and the lyrics like switchblade lover with a poison kiss tattooed 666 tastes like heaven but remember this love apocalypse. Like now I got a C in English lit, but I thought that was brilliant. How did you guys come up with that one?
Thank you. Well, Reb had the lick, and it was, what's cool about that tune, like the verse kind of reminds me of Whitesnake.
Yeah.
We wrote the music, and I was thinking, what's the name of this song? What's the name of this song? And then I heard that phrase somewhere, and I thought, oh, wonder if I could work that into a tune, And I actually co-wrote the words with a buddy of mine who's a great songwriter named Grant Van Dyke. We were just milling that stuff over. I mean, that was just one of those songs that came pretty easily, I have to say. It all just kind of fell in place like a puzzle. But I really like the guitar solo in that. It's, John Reb plays, then John plays, then Reb, and then they both play. It's just that one would be a great song to play live, actually.
Definitely. And I think I could maybe even sing that one in a concert setting.
You're welcome to come up and sing.
Oh, really? Okay. I'll take you up on that.
I guess you're a singer, right?
No, I wish. I just love to sing along to music that I like. But yeah, no, I saw.
We turn you into a singer.
Karaoke, that's what I do. With everyone's drunk and they can't really hear real well. That's the best singing environment for me.
That's funny.
What about so you mentioned the solos. I thought that was cool though. In the song Broken Glass, you gave Paul Taylor a guitar solo. That's really, now how do you decide something like that? Was it his song or something, or how did it come up that he got a solo?
I wrote that tune. Reb, that was one of the early songs that we worked on. I thought I just had the vibe because Paul's a great soloist, and he's never played a solo on a Winger record. And working on the record, and that was one of those things where the pandemic, getting Reb to come back and forth a lot, because I don't make records by Zoom or mail in your tracks or anything. I want to be in the room with everybody. And so I don't know, man. I just got the idea, like Paul's been playing some solos live and stuff. And I thought, he's never played a solo on a Winger album. Let's give him a solo on this song. He's just great. He's got a great feel, man. So I
Yeah,
love.
he's such a nice guy too. He did my show. I haven't met Reb and Rod and John, but it seems like because you look at Winger as a band that's you've had the same members for so many years. I mean, obviously sometimes people have to come and go because of different projects, but you've all gotten along, and it seems like that's probably because you're all really nice guys.
Well, we get along. It's a funny group of guys. Reb especially is very funny. John's funny too. I mean, everybody has a good sense of humor. We like to hang. We've always been friends, even when we weren't actually like performing together that much. We were still talking to each other all the time, and you know, we never had any legal battles or anything like that. We just it's a great hang, So uh, we're lucky that way. No reason for anybody to leave.
Yeah, no, it's a great gig. The song "It's Okay" that's another new one. It's got the cool. I love the talk. Is it what we call the talk box guitar?
Yeah, John put that in. He's like, "Hey, man, you want to talk box in this?" It's like perfect.
Yeah, how do you decide? I feel like there needs to be more talk box in rock music. I don't. I mean, you think like, is it "Living on a Prayer"? Is that the Bon Jovi song that's got it? And
Yeah.
there's just not. I think there's a Motley Crue song that has it, but there should
Well,
be more of those. I love those.
Peter Frampton really made it famous.
Right.
I feel like I do. And when Bon Jovi brought it back, that was genius. It really worked well in that track. And John Roth suggested it for this track, and I loved the idea, and it sounds great. So we always have one kind of quirky song on the album, that like a Down Incognito vibe. That's it's okay. Life is an illusion, man. The lyric is really just life is an illusion. You can't really see what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. No. So you mentioned "Down Incognito." That's I would say that's probably my favorite Winger song or one of them. And I'm so glad that you still play it live. But tell the story about that because that was really interesting. I didn't know that. It was kind of a thing similar to Cherry Pie and Warrant, where they said the album was done, and then they're like, "Hey, we need a hit," and that's how you wrote "Down Incognito."
Well, kind of like that. Yeah. I mean, I took Spell I'm Under into the label thinking it was just, that was really a big single. And ironically, Spell I'm Under never became a single. Who's the One became a single. But yeah, they're like, nah, you need another one, which really blew me away because I thought Spell I'm Under, to this day, I think it's one of the better songs I've written. But yeah, so we went down and I was like, okay, we're not going to do a guitar solo. We're just going to do this funky beat. We were just messing around, man. And so I was like, okay, this song needs. I'm going to go get a harmonica for this song. Now, we had this dow do do dow do 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 dow do bass part, and the drum machine was cranking. I was living in Manhattan, and my studio was in the back part of this loft I had. And I was like, dude, I'm going to go up to Manny's Music. I'm going to grab a harmonica, and by the time I get back, I want you to have a riff done for this groove. And I came back, and Reb was like, "What do you think of this?" Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, boom, da. I'm like, "Oh my god, that's the genius of Reb, man. Sometimes he just knocks these riffs off the top of his head that are just mind blowing, and that was one of them."
That's amazing though that the guy tells you to write a hit. And to me, it's like, I think you did. I mean, I know maybe it was the 90s or whatever, so it didn't take off as much as it should, but that is a really good song that you
I
could just
appreciate that.
sit
It
down and
wasn't.
do that.
It was. Look, I'd love to take credit like that, but it wasn't really like that. They said, right, you need another song that could be a single and stuff. So we wrote a bunch of stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were like, okay, let's try this, and this. Down Incognito was the one that kind of rose to the top.
And then explain
And you
the,
know what? Down Incognito was one of those songs that like we beat the demo because there's this whole like you make demos and the demos are always better because the vibe of the song is better in the demo. But on Pull, man, we had demos for Pull and we beat the demo in every case. I mean, with Mike Shipley, it was just godlike. I mean, he was so good at like bringing those things home, like because I go on and on and on about this. I don't make demos anymore because I want to grab the inspiration of the tune right when it's there and I record it like on the spot. but we really nailed it on that song in particular.
No, I love that. And then I wanted to ask you, I always wondered about the music video because for years, I think I wondered, where is this place? And then I realized I live in Scottsdale and I was like, oh, this is in Arizona. But it's funny because this is before Instagram and all this stuff. Like, how did you guys find that location? Because it's really cool. I actually went there.
Yeah, it's in Tumacacori.
Yeah.
Yeah, the video producers, the director, they had a scout and they were thinking, okay, down Incognito. I mean, of course, it lends itself to, you're out in the middle of nowhere, hanging out until the sun's going to shine. Some location scout found it, honestly. And by the way, I was living in Florida then, and when I went there, I was like, oh my God, I want this vibe. So I packed up and moved to New Mexico after that.
Oh, that's when you lived in Santa Fe or whatever?
That's right after that video. I packed up and moved because I wanted that desert vibe. That's really where I feel the most at home, in that like super deserty vibe, peaceful, kind of pseudo spiritual vibe.
Yeah. So why don't you move to Arizona then? Because I know you want to get out of Nashville. So.
Does everybody know I want to leave Nashville?
Well, you mentioned it. I think I heard you say it.
I mentioned it. Yeah, no, I mentioned it mostly because the winter weather is just downright depressing. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so busy. I won't be able to be moving anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you about this story too. This is funny. I heard you talking about the song "Blind Revolution Mad," and that song is so brilliant lyrically and musically, and the way it starts slow and then it kicks in. But I heard you said an interesting tidbit about that is that when you were recording it, the A&R guy came in and tried to like get you to change the song and put the word love in it or something.
I just told that story.
Yeah, I think it was on Krista Make's podcast.
Yeah, I just told that story again. We were talking. The question actually was like, do you miss the old time music business, and do you feel like there's less pressure now? To your point about a record company saying now you got to write a hit, and my answer was no, because I keep my bar very high internally, and I want to keep raising the bar. But to answer your question, and to my point, was that back in the day there were only a few really great A&R people, like that could really hear the difference, like John Kolodner, Jason Flom. There was a couple guys that really knew what was up. And we had this one guy listening to Blind Revolution Mad demo, and right when I sing "Have It Your Way," and the band goes, it was like, you need the word love right there at the top. "Have it your way, love," and I'm like, I literally was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, man! Like, it was embarrassing.
Do you think they sometimes just wanted to be heard and known, that try to look like they were doing something? Because that doesn't even seem to make. He's not a songwriter. How would he know?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of them that felt like they needed to say something because they needed to justify their position. Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, having said that, back then I was like, I mean, I was like, you're out of your mind, right? I mean, that was just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But I've been in situations where, I wonder if it needs, and people have made suggestions. But I mean, I have a very close council of people that I trust, and I've had that for years, and I don't really go outside of it.
Yeah. How did you? Always want to ask you this, because for people who don't know, you started out with playing for Alice Cooper, and then I heard the story that you slipped on fake blood and you hurt your knee, and so then you got workman's comp. So that's kind of how you were able to make the music with Winger. But how did you know that it was a good move to leave Alice Cooper and go out and just focus 100% on Winger? Because that's a pretty ballsy move at the time. I mean, there's a lot of people that would kill for the Alice Cooper gig, and you're saying, I think I could do better, which it turned out to be the right decision. But how did you know that was the right decision?
I just felt like once a sideman, always a sideman. It was a great opportunity, but I felt like that was such a cushy gig that it would be very easy to get super comfortable and never jump, and my main thing was writing music, so I wanted to write and do perform my own music, and that was never going to happen in that camp. Having said that, I mean, Alice is the most generous, awesome individual ever, and he actually encouraged me to go. So it was like, he gave me his full on blessing. Um, it was really just came down to just that first and foremost, I wanted to write songs and perform my own shit. Yeah, I mean, it was looking back on it, it was like, whoa. And by the way, I'd be happy in Alice Cooper's band now because I wouldn't have to sing all this stuff. It's like, I'd just sing backgrounds. I'd never lose my voice. And I love the Alice Cooper music, and just being the bass player seems very appealing at this point. But yeah, it was scary. I mean, we were like, okay, well, let's see what happens. I mean, we got turned down by everybody, man. Finally, in the final hour, we got a deal with Atlantic.
So you left before you had the deal?
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's really ballsy.
Oh yeah. No, we left, and Reb and I made a pact to not take any more outside work. That was the deal. I called Reb and I said, look, let's write an album and get a record deal. So you don't take any more work, because Reb was very popular in the New York session scene. He'd been doing a lot of stuff for Beau Hill and Arif Mardin, and he played on, man, Shaka Khan, Bee Gees, Twisted Sister, tons of stuff. And I was like, don't take any more work, and I'm not going to take any more work, and we're going to just sit in this room and we're going to write an album and we're going to get a record deal. It's very naive.
That's fucking brilliant, though. I love it. That's how you get to be big, is by taking chances like that, I think.
Yeah, that was a big chance. And like you said, the workman's comp money was, I don't know, 300 or 400 a week, gave me enough to survive through that time to get signed.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the guest appearances and things like that, session work. Is it true that, because I was looking through some of the stuff you've done some great session work of your own. Did you really play on Bob Dylan's album? I didn't know that.
I played on a track that ended up on a Bob Dylan album. Yeah.
Oh, but you didn't actually sit down with him, or?
No. I never. I was lucky to be on the track, but I never met Bob.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But either way, you're still on there, so it's a good resume builder, right?
It looks cool. It looks I mean,
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, but I mean, I've got a lot of that kind of stuff. And I played with a lot of big people in rock and roll fantasy camp that I can go, yeah, I jammed with him, and I jammed with him, and I jammed with him, and I jammed with him. It's not like I actually was, legitimately playing with those guys, though.
Well, you did legitimately play for Alice Cooper. That's a pretty good one too, right there. So,
and Alan Parsons. I was Alan Parsons' singer for a year or plus in 2003 or 4, and I was the lead singer in his live project for a while.
That's awesome. Is there anybody that's on your bucket list that you haven't had a chance to even like jam with that you'd want to?
I'm not really a jammer. That's the thing, I'm very shy. I'm a very shy musician. If we jam the blues, okay, or jam like Black Sabbath songs, cool, but I'm not one of those guys, And I gave up trying to be a good instrumentalist quite a long time ago, just in favor of composing. I do want to do a project with Andy Timmons at some point. My all-time favorite guitar players, him and Steve Vai, but I'm good. I'd like to meet Peter Gabriel and Paul McCartney and just shake their hand and thank them for the inspiration. But other than that, I'm all right. I feel I've done a lot. I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, new tour, new albums coming out soon. The two singles already out, and then the tour with John Corabi and Tom Kiefer. So what's the set list going to be like? Obviously, we're going to have the hits, but is there going to be how many new songs? Is there going to be maybe some deep cuts from Pole or anything like that
in the set list?
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I keep telling the guys, we should mix it up and throw in some unexpected stuff.
Yeah.
But usually, like for example, we're opening on quite a few of these runs, like with Tom Kiefer and stuff, and we only have time to get in the hits and a couple new songs. So
Mm.
if you have any suggestions, I'm all ears.
Yeah, well, I just like because you mentioned that it was I think it's the 30th anniversary of Pull and the 35th anniversary of the first album. But yeah, Pull to me is like that's my favorite. Like Blind Revolution Mad or Junkyard Dog. I think that'd be kind of
I love
fun.
playing Blind Revolution Mad. I love it. I'll
Yeah.
throw that in the set. Where are you in Phoenix?
Yeah, Scottsdale, South Scottsdale.
All right. Well, when we're there, I'll play it.
Are you coming here? I didn't see it on the
I'm
are you
sure
going to add dates?
I'm sure we'll be there at some point. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw you guys when you last time came through with Warrant and Skid Row. That was a fun show at the casino, outdoors. Do you remember that one?
Phoenix or Tucson?
No, it was Phoenix or Scottsdale. It was a Talking Stick. It was at the casino.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember. That was a good show. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was kind of during the pandemic or whatever, so it was outdoors. So I think it was safe or whatever. I had a blast. It was
Yeah, that was fun.
yeah, that's it. Those three bands. I mean, that's like it's nice when you guys. I like the packages. You can catch a couple different. John Corabi and Tom Kiefer are huge fans of both those guys too. So
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. We toured with Cinderella back in the day. Great tour.
yeah. So and then I saw that you're going to be doing the meet and greets. That's like the VIP thing. Is that? Do you like doing that? Is that kind of like a necessary evil or?
No, I like doing it. Those are like you meet the true fans doing that.
Do you ever get recognized just like on the street, like or in Nashville or whatever? Like
Sometimes. Yeah,
is it? Do you like that or is it kind of weird?
Oh, I mean, it's just been happening my whole life, so I don't even think about it. It just is what it is.
Just used to it. Okay, cool. Well, I'm sure you got to get to your next interview, so I appreciate you taking the time with this. I always promote a charity at the end. Is there a charity that you want to promote?
That's really interesting. I mean, I donate to a few, but in general, I'm on this big dog kick from China where they eat dogs, and I can't wrap my head around that one. So if you find a legit one for that, donate. Let's not eat our dogs.
Okay, I'll research that. Put it in the show notes along with your website.
You know what? There's a place in Phoenix actually called Rockstar Rescue that does that I've donated to, and they're right there in your area, and they're really cool people. Rockstar Rescue.
Okay,
it's an animal shelter.
I will put that in the show notes along with the website, and people can get tickets to the show. They can get pre-order the new album. It's out May 5th, and they can get T-shirts. And is there going to be more merch, or is it just?
Yeah,
I think
there's brand new. Go to the website wingertheband.com. There's brand new merch. There's 35th anniversary, 30th anniversary, new album, and it's all up there now. So pre-order the new record. That's what we're hoping. People will pre-order the record. And there's vinyl, and vinyl's been really big. I even ordered a vinyl myself.
Yeah. Does the vinyl, that always seems like it takes longer, or is that's not going to be ready on May 5th?
It takes longer. Yeah. It's going to be in September. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you guys live soon.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye. Well, that was a lot of fun for me. Great stuff from Kip Winger. And again, make sure to check out the new Winger album 7, which comes out May 5th, 2023. And you can pre-order it now, or if you're listening to this past that date, it's already out. So make sure to catch a show, buy some merch, support the band, follow them on social media, like, share, and comment all their stuff. And you can support my show the same way. And just make sure you're subscribed wherever you watch or listen, because we have some great guests lined up that I'm excited to share with all of you. Thanks for listening. Have a great day and shoot for the moon.